Hey, what is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video of my sports, Gematria. In this video, I'll be going over the NBA games for Thursday, June 10th, 2021. I'm going to show you highlights of each side, and it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And if for some reason you're curious to know who I'm picking in these games, you'll have to join my Patreon. My picks are always in writing, underlined, and italicized. For more information on that, please read the description of this video. I wish you guys the best of luck in your picks today. Let's go ahead and get into the games. I'm going to be looking at Game 3 for the Nets and the Bucks, and then Game 2 for the Clippers and the Jazz. On this side of the screen is what I call my daily numbers, date numerology, Gregorian Hebrew calendar. And then on this side of the screen is what I call my game numbers. I have the away team up top here, their season record, their coach's record, their postseason record. In the middle here is the head-to-head between the two, and then at the bottom here is their season record, the home team, their coach's record, their postseason record. And then up top here is the season information, or the series information, excuse me. Game 3, the Nets can become 3-0 or fall 2-1. This is the 51st NBA playoff game for this season. And then Game 4 between these two will actually be the 56th NBA playoff game. So Nets versus the Bucks. Nets are off to a great start, up 2-0 in the series. They want to make it 3-0 probably. And if they do, Bucks are probably going to get swept because the Game 4 is the 56th NBA playoff game. And if Nets win this game, Game 3, they get their 55th win. And then in Game 4, it would set them up to potentially get their 56th win for the season in the 56th NBA playoff game. And if that happens, Nets would become 3-0, like 30 in this series, in this game today, in Game 3. And today does have 37 date numerology on the Gregorian here. Right here, 37 date numerology. And I bring that up because 30 sums to 37. And also, the Nets would sit on 113 all-time head-to-head losses against the Bucks while they do it. 113 is the 30th prime number. The number 50 sums to 30, and Bucks would sit on 50 wins for the season as it happens. Today is the 89th day on the Hebrew religious. Nets could sit on 89 postseason losses with a win as Bucks fall 2-4 head-to-head against the Nets. 89 is the 24th prime number. It's a day with 114 date numerology on the Hebrew religious. And Bucks coach can sit on 411 all-time wins for his career, which is just a reflection of 114. But there is a real 114 on the board here. Bucks versus the Nets. Bucks can get their 114th all-time head-to-head win against the Nets on a day with 114 date numerology on the Hebrew religious. It has 54 date numerology as well, and Nets would sit on 54 wins for the season with the loss. Today does have 12 and or 21 date numerology on the Gregorian. Bucks could become 1-2 head-to-head against the Nets, or they would become 2-1, depending on which side you're looking at. And the Nets would sit on 21 road wins with a loss to go with it. Nets could get their 26th loss for the season as their coach becomes 6-2 postseason for his career with the loss. 26, 62 are just reflections of each other. And this is the Nets' 159th postseason game as a team, and 26 sums to 159. So there are connections here for the Bucks potentially. And I mentioned this is the 51st. If Nets don't win this game and they don't get their 55th win to set them up to get their 56th, I imagine it's because they want to give their 51st win to the Bucks in the 51st NBA playoff game. See if they can get their 51st win in this game particularly. And with the Bucks being on the verge of getting their 131st postseason win, I imagine they're going to get it sometime within this series. Today might be a good day for them to do it, just because it is 57 date numerology on the Gregorian. 57 sums to 131. The 3 seed versus the 2 seed, like 32, 131 the 32nd prime. And Bucks coach, it's his 32nd postseason game as a coach for Bucks. So there are some numbers there for it, for the Bucks to at least get one win in the series. This might be it for them. Or as meaning this might be it. This might be the opportunity for them to get a win in the series if they were going to. So let's look at the Clippers and the Jazz. Clippers and Jazz, we talked about these numbers in the first pick preview video with these guys. I talked about the number 132, knowing they were going to have their 132nd postseason game, coming in on a date numerology of 37. 37 sums to 132. So Clippers coach, he can sit on that 132, 132 all-time losses with the win in the 132nd postseason game for the Clippers, and then the Jazz would sit on 132 postseason wins with the loss to go with that. And 37 date numerology sums to 132 and 57, but we also got 57 date numerology as well. And Jazz can sit on 57 wins for the season with the loss. This is their 79th game for the season. 79 is the 22nd prime number. They can get their 22nd loss for the season to go with the number 57. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to move it. The number 57 sums to 139, which is the 34th prime number, and Jazz would sit on 34 home wins as this all occurs. And much like potentially the Bucks getting their 51st win and the 51st NBA playoff game, the next game logically is the 52nd NBA playoff game, and Clippers could get their 52nd win for the season. There's definitely potential for that. Their coach would get his 221st all-time win. 221 is just a big version of the number 21, I guess, if you want to say that. You can. And going back to the 57 again, 57 sums to 131, the 32nd prime, and Jazz would fall 3-2, like 32 head-to-head against the Clippers for the overall season. On the flip side, though, if Jazz were going to win this game, it would be the Clippers that would sit on a 57. They would sit on 57 postseason wins. We talked about that in their game one, how it's their 131st postseason game, and they can sit on 57, which they did. 57 sums to 131. And we see this 57 again here on the Gregorian. 57 sums to 131. They can continue to sit on 57 postseason if that was the case, if they lose this game. Jazz would then sit on 21 losses for the season instead of sitting on 57. Today with 12 and 21 date numerology along with 57. And Jazz can get their 12th postseason head-to-head win against the Clippers. Clippers would get their 30th loss for this season. We talked about this number already. 30 sums to 37. Today with 37 date numerology on the Gregorian. And this is the 4 seed versus the 1 seed, like 41. This is Clippers' 41st away game, Jazz 41st home game. It's the 41st postseason game for the Jazz coach. And Jazz could become 4-1, like 41 head-to-head against the Clippers for the season. And Jazz would become 6-1 postseason this year specifically. And 61 sums to 41. 41 is the 13th prime number. 13 sums to 45. And Clippers could fall 4-5, like 45 postseason as a record, as their Clippers postseason for this year specifically, as Clippers coach sits on 45 wins postseason for his career. And this could be in reflection of game 1, where Donovan Mitchell, who wears the number 45, scored 45 points. And so maybe that's a little look ahead that they're trying to tell us or something. But hopefully this helps. Hopefully this look over that I just did for these numbers helps. And hopefully you're able to see, a narrative for both sides. There's definitely numbers here for both sides on each game. And I'm going to continue to look these over, and then of course I'll type something up for my Patreon and make my pick like I always do. But hopefully you guys are able to make your pick with this stuff, and at the very least build on top of it to add more information to it to help you along. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope you win every pick that you make, and along with that, I hope you win unlimited amounts of money. Just because you can. All right, enjoy your guys the rest of your day. Thanks for watching.